Good morning, Dad. It's Tuesday. And as you can probably tell from the green wall behind me, I'm vlogging in the office in our new house today. It's still pretty empty. I'm hoping to put some posters up or something. We've been here for just over a week now, and it's pretty good, but still quite chaotic. I was interested last week to hear about your interview process for your visa to the US. As my grandpa recently emigrated to the US, he had to wait 2 or 3 years just to get the interview for his visa, but he was coming over as a permanent resident, so I imagine that process probably takes a little longer. I was trying to come up with something to talk about this week, and unfortunately, one of the things that's been all over the news in the US for the past week or so is the mass shooting at Pulse nightclub on June 12th. Dad, I'm assuming you've heard about it. If it didn't make the news in Vietnam, I'm sure you saw it on the internet, and if nothing else, John and Hank's videos from last week. I don't even know how to describe it. Terrible and horrendous. They don't even seem to be able to cover it, you know? I think part of me that doesn't really believe that that kind of thing could happen. Only it does happen, and it happens far too often in this country. But I still can't wrap my head around it. I know people who have been to Pulse. I have friends in the LGBTQ plus community, which was the target of the attack. I have Muslim friends who might face even more discrimination after this attack. And both groups have some truly amazing people in them who are wonderful and caring and loving and funny and smart and just great people. And yet both are judged unfairly and discriminated against just for being who they are. And I'm just so sick of it. I'm sick of the hate and the violence and just the misunderstanding. I really, really wish we can all just come together and accept each other for the complex human beings we are, and I didn't actually think I would cry. It's just so terrible. So after watching Hannah Hart's video about this last week, I started following all of my representatives in Congress on Twitter. One of my senators from Maryland was involved in a filibuster last week. And they almost never happen, but it did last week, and it was to get a vote. Not an agreement or anything, just to vote. I know it's a complex issue, and there's some good points on both sides, but it just seems that we're at a place now that we should have been able to come to some sort of compromise to get something done about this, and we haven't, and I just don't understand how that could be. I'd like to thank my Senator Ben Carding for being involved in the filibuster, and Senator Chris Murphy for leading it. Though the vote was ultimately unsuccessful, I do think that getting it discussed in Congress was a step in the right direction, at least. Hopefully Hank and Hannah's videos last week inspired more young people to be politically active in the US and to contact their representatives in Congress to fight for the things that are important to them. After all, many small people who in many small places do many small things can change the fate of the world. Dad, don't forget to be awesome, and I'll see you on Friday.